Hi, I'm Jerilyn Hinahon, and we'll be talking to you about gun control and our position on this matter. I'll start by asking, how many gun-related shootings have we heard about in the news these days? There seems to be a new incident once or twice a month. One incident specifically is the Sandy Hook shooting. According to an article in USA Today written by Gary Stoller, December 14, 2012, was the day 28 innocent lives were taken. 20 of those were children between the ages of 6 and 7. 10 minutes was all it took for these lives to be taken during the infamous Sandy Hook shooting.
Hi, my name is Jerilyn, and this all may have been prevented through the passing of stricter gun control laws. If regulations were in place to establish a higher age requirement and a proper mental assessment, the possibility of a gun going into an incompetent person's hands will be minimized, and the lives of innocent children as well as innocent civilians would have been spared.
And hi, I'm Bobby. To preview what we're going to be talking about, we'll start by explaining how age and mental process plays a huge role. Then we will transition into what we believe that who we should blame for these type of occurrences. Finally, we'll give our insight on what we believe should be the appropriate response to these events. I'll start off by talking about the ill, and although the Second Amendment states that one has a right to bear arms, restrictions should still be amplified in order to prevent firearm-related incidents. According to the National Institute of Justice, 68% of all murders are firearm-related, and in an educational article written by Jen Singu, an expert in psychology on NPR.org, quote, "A man or woman's brain is not fully developed until the age of 25, end quote. Not only was the Sandy Hook shooter under the age of 25, but he was also diagnosed with Asperger's disease, which contributed to the fact that he was able to obtain a gun even without a correct mental assessment. Teenagers who are not in a correct state of mind could get into an argument with a classmate, go out, get a gun, and in the heat of the moment, shoot their classmate.
Now, I'll be discussing who we should blame for all of these incidents, starting from the Sandy Hook shooting to the Aurora shooting to the Columbine shooting. We believe that the legislators are to blame for the lack of tougher gun control laws against the licensing of guns to citizens. According to smartgunlaws.org, the law center to prevent gun violence by gun law information experts, the age for people to get a gun license in the United States of America ranges from 14 years of age to 21 years of age. We believe this is too young and that the government is not doing enough to make laws stricter for irresponsible citizens to get their hands on guns. Basically, most people can get a gun before they even graduate high school. And second point, our legislators are also to blame because they do not want to change gun licensing laws. This is because they receive political funding from gun supporting associations, such as the National Rifle Association. According to an article by Wilson Andrews, an expert in politics from the Washington Post politics section, the NRA, National Rifle Association, gave out $650,000 to legislators for political campaigning. This is why they do not want to change the requirements for gun licensing. They are basically getting bribes from the National Rifle Association to keep themselves in office and to keep the gun laws lenient.
Now I'll be discussing the cure. As what was established earlier, everyone should have the right to bear arms as recognized in the Second Amendment. But even with amendments, there should be regulations. There should be a raise in age requirements and also a need for a mental assessment. As of right now, according to lawmakers on Bureau of Security and Investigative Services, one is only required to take a 14-hour course, a written test, an age requirement varying by state, and be a United States citizen. All of these of which do not include a proper mental assessment. If a mental assessment was made mandatory to acquire a gun permit, Those who are not in the right state of mind would be denied access to purchasing a gun. Another cure would be to indicate a universal age requirement when one has a fully developed brain, which is at the age of 25 years of age, throughout the whole United States of America. Why is it that one is given the right to have the ability to shoot a deadly weapon at the age of 14, but would have to wait until the age of 21 to take a little sip of alcohol? Lastly, we propose another cure, which involved taking a look into one's background, which includes one's criminal history. As stated on CNN.com/politics on April 9, 2013, by Dana Bash, a CNN chief congressional correspondent, there is currently an ongoing proposal between politicians Manchin and Toomey, which requires background checks and a paper trail on gun purchases. If this is later made into law, then we would see an exponential decrease in gun-related crimes.
And finally, to conclude, from what we covered, it's clear that gun control needs to be reassessed so that gun casualties can be lowered. We covered the problem of guns and how easy it is to obtain a gun in just about any state. Not only about how easy it is to obtain a gun, but the age required to obtain a gun was also a huge factor. After we targeted the legislators for not having stricter laws because they benefit from gun organizations, this proves that even with such events and casualties, it's not in their right mind to change the way they've been thinking. And finally, we proposed a cure for these problems, such as raising the restrictions like age, the need for a mental assessment, and the need for a criminal background check. These are the first steps that should be taken, and any steps that should help avoid such casualties. Gun control is a serious issue in our society where just about everybody is affected. From all these infamous events involving guns, we need to take action into changing the process it takes to obtain a gun to lower such casualties. But before any more of these events occur, gun control needs to be regulated immediately.